here. I've already put some white down there. It's very tricky doing horses' eyes because you can't see them very clearly. And at the back here we've got, again, like there's a little bit of white there. You'll find that when you do this horse it'll be easier than the way I'm doing it here, because I'm picking up from the original photograph that I've got, or photographs that I've got, so I'm having to make a lot of this up. You'll have it much more clearly defined when you come to do it. Good. And we might as well, while we're there, put just a little bit of grey on those eyelashes. Right. Use the grey, as I actually use the dark colours to create the effects. Now this is going to be just really, all I can see on the photograph I've got here is just a dark hole. There's no, I can just define the colours, some of the colours that's there. That's about it. So it just looks like a hole, doesn't it? But I'm hoping that when we develop it further, it will work. Now this is the colour I used, the 283 that I used before. Another thing, you've probably heard me say this before, but when you're dealing with difficult bits that you can't really make out, what you do is very simply do what you see. And, I mean, that sounds pretty obvious, but it's not. In other words, try not to imagine what you're seeing, don't make it up. Copy exactly how you're interpreting it. And I've always found that works well. If you try to make something up, you'll get it wrong and it won't work. Now, you see how, having chatted to you there, I've just realised that I can actually develop the eye around it there. And just here, this is what I say, once you get the eye in, it all starts to gel together. And just here, we need that to be a bit darker. This is 181 I'm using at the moment, but I've got to darken that off. Now I use 175, so I'll do it again on the other eye to darken it. So far, so good. Now we've still got a hole, haven't we? And we've got choices now. We can. I'm going to put a black in because I want to put black in here, but you'll see that when I do this, it'll develop a lot more strength to the eye, but we'll also be able to create the shape. There, whoops, there's a bit of pressure, broke my black. So you see, well, I haven't completely finished that off yet. You'll probably best me shut up and let you watch what I'm doing. Now what I'm going to do now is going to use another colour. This is a red. It's an Indian red, 192, and I'm just going to put a little bit of that colour because I can see that in the eye. I mean, the other one on the other side was you can't get these sort of things in, but here you could. Now I'm just going to develop that a little more with maybe a grey there. You have the white underneath that gives the brightness, and then you can bring the grey in, and a little ochre too. A lot of the time when I'm working on instinct. I'm just working on a feeling. I'm working with the black again, developing that depth. Now what I also want to do, this is the 187 which I used earlier, and I'm going to put that one in here, and hopefully you can't see it on the screen. I tell you what I might do, I might try to alter the iris on the camera, which might give you a better idea of that. So now you should be able to see that much better now. Now what I'm doing now is just going in with the black to really deepen the top half of the eye. And you can see, you should be able to see a very distinct difference between the two now. And what I'll do now is to bring down a little carefully, bring down the black. So what we will do is to shade it so that we get, instead of having a definite line in there, we have a faded line. Now that's about right. Good. Now what I'm also going to do here is just put a little bit of 186. I used to, oops, I don't know what else to do. I'll just put that there because I don't want to spoil the paper underneath. I'm just going to put a little bit of 186. Now you should be able to see that clearly going in. Now that looks good. And what we do is just blend it either side so we create a little bit of light in the eye. Yeah, see how that works? You can kind of see it, but you can't, you know, and that's the idea of this. Now just here we've got, I need to bring those back out again with a sharp white in a minute, but I'm nearly there. I just want to put a few more little with the edge of the white, just see little hairs that go in. I mean, this is fun to do, I've got to say. Once you crack the idea of developing all these different colours which I've used, and the 177 going in there, a little bit of black, you can kind of create the feeling and the sort of atmosphere, if you like, of what's going on around the eye, and it looks pretty good. Now that looks even better, I assure you, once we pull away from it, which you will in a minute. So now I'm very happy with that for the moment anyway, and now we can use this as a template for these other areas. I've already started, let me just show you what I was doing here. I've already started over here putting in some grey on top of the white and the grey that I put in, the lighter grey that I put in, and that can be put in, and then it can be faded in like that. And that's what I'm going to be doing around there, so we get a nice shade of blue, pink, all those colours that I put in previously. But I'm happy with that now. I'm going to pull away. I'll have to bring the iris back because this makes everything too light now. But I wanted to show you how it worked with the eye. So when you see it again, we'll see both eyes together just a bit further away.